Namaskar, welcome you all. NIOS welcomes you in this educational video. Today we are going to do subject political science. Code number for this subject is 317. We are doing lesson number 6 and the topic you can see on the screen. It is fundamental rights. Fundamental are those basic human rights which are needed for the human development. So, our today's topic is fundamental right. This is video's part 2. Earlier we had completed video part 1. So, now we are doing video part 2. First, let us do difficult words. These are all new words from the same lesson of this political science subject. This word is prohibited. This is something which is not allowed. You must have experienced at various places this red sign, like you are not allowed to do something, like smoking. Someone is not allowed to smoke, we are not allowed to smoke. Some places we are not allowed to use mobile. At some public places we are not allowed to do some particular things. Somewhere, sometimes loudspeakers are not allowed. Like smoking is not good for health, so that is why it is prohibited. So, and also sometime on the road when there is some work going on, then there is a sign that walking on this side is not allowed. So such instructions, when some entry is not allowed, that is known as prohibited. Now this word is arbitrarily. Arbitrarily means something which is random. For example, if there is any auction and there are various rates for a particular image or particular picture, and the person arbitrarily bids for the picture. Now this word is to impart. To impart means to give. To impart means to train. This word is used for some teaching, for some training purpose only, not for the materialistic things. Now this word is minorities. Like there is general public, but there are few group of people, they are very small in number. For example, PWD, SC, ST. The group of people who are very small in number are known as minorities. Hazardous. This is something which is dangerous. All the signs which are yellow in color, they show the danger sign, so that people be alert and do precautionary act so that they can be saved. At some places where there are some work going on, like some well digging or any electrical high voltage work, similar kind of places, those signages are put so that people can be alert. This word is secularism. This is used for different groups of people which are present in our society. Secularism says that all the communities are having equal rights, whether they follow any religion, but they are all equal. So, secularism means having equal status for all, irrespective of any religion. This word is human trafficking. Human, we all know that we all are human, and trafficking means moving from one place to the other. For example, if the humans are moved from one place to the other or from one country to the other for different kinds of work, sometimes humans are exported for various reasons, sometimes because of exploitation or similar reasons. For that, we use human trafficking. This word is aggression. A person who is being aggressive, being angry, means the person is in aggression. This image is of a place known as mine. It is a place where coals are found. This word is slavery. If a person is working as a servant and forced to do something, he is doing labor work, so that is known as slavery. In earlier time, there were some slavery incidents. This word is infringing. If anyone breaks the law or ignores the law, that is known as infringing. For example, we all must wear the helmet during bike riding because it is a law. But there are some cases that the person does not follow the law, so that is known as infringing. Safeguard. Safeguard means to be alert for the safety, for the self purpose, to protect the self means to safeguard. Morality means having the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong according to the situation. A person may be of any age. A person who is of any age, he should follow or he should respect the elders because it is a good value in our society. Among our relatives, if we get a chance to have food items, then we should teach our young children that you should first take permission. Only after taking permission you can eat the things because it is good value. So teaching good values, what is right, what is wrong, is known as morality. Calamities. Calamities are the natural incidences which occur in the environment. For example, volcanoes, sometimes there is flood, and sometimes there is fire in the forest or hurricane. So there may be various natural incidences which are known as calamities. This word is disparity. Disparity means not having equal rights or equal chance. Like if there is a gender, then comparing the one with the other is known as disparity. Compelled. Compelled means forcing someone to do something. For example, if a child is not willing to go to school and parents force that child to go to school, or someone forces the person to go to job, that is the force which is given because of the pressure, the mental pressure, the person is compelled to do something. In earlier time, when there was caste system, some caste people used to compel the other caste people for some work. Till now, we have understood the difficult words. In part 1 video, we covered few of the content of this lesson. In part 1, we will also summarize about the basic rights we covered in part 1. We covered 3 basic rights which comes under our constitution. In the article 14 till 17, we covered the right to protection, and right to have our own religion, these are all the fundamental rights which have been incorporated in part 3 of our constitution, and the article which is in this constitution is from 14 till 32. So there are basic 6 fundamental rights. And these rights are 6 in number, as we all have understood, but these rights are not absolute, and some reasonable restrictions can be imposed on these rights in the interest of peace or sometimes national defense, morality, common good, and good relation with other countries. So it is up to the government for restricting the people for some reasons. So these rights are all not absolute, and some reasonable restrictions can be imposed because of some logical reason. For the safety of the state, there are basically 6 fundamental rights, but in case of emergency, in case of need, some modifications or some restrictions can be imposed. The main aim of these fundamental rights is to have peace in the society, to protect our nation, and to have common good values and good relations among all the members of our society. So that is the main reason that we have these fundamental rights. For the benefit of all the members of our society. Now this is the first right that comes under fundamental rights, and this is the right to equality. And under the Constitution, we all are equal before law. And we all know, as we all know, that the statue of the justice is having the blind fold because of the same reason, that our law says that we all are equal and there is a right to equality. And no one can discriminate between citizens on the basis of religion, race, sex, place of birth, or any of them. There is a right to equality. And we all must follow this. And also, untouchability has been abolished since long time, and now it has been made an offense and it is punishable by law. The state has been forbidden from conferring honorary titles also on citizens that create social disparities. If there is any person who is willing to have a special title so that all other members of the society respect him or her in a different way, so that is also not allowed. It is forbidden because there is a right to equality. As we have understood the part 1, now this is the beginning of the part 2. Earlier we had explained in part 1 6 fundamental rights. We had covered 2 fundamental rights out of the 6 fundamental rights. So now we would be doing the 4 remaining fundamental rights. The first right was right to equality, and the second was right to be independent. Now we would be doing the third fundamental right. So now here let us have a break.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बांटे,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने। स्वयं बने, हम
Now, we would be beginning the part 2 explanation from here onwards. This is the third fundamental right. This is the right against exploitation. It prohibits all forms of forced labor as well as human trafficking. If there is any person who is not willing to do any kind of work, then that person has this right that that person can apply or appeal for the right against exploitation. Also, states requires citizens' services in the natural calamities such as floods, sometimes there is a forest fire, or sometime when there is any earthquake, any hurricane, or any mishappening which occurs due to the natural calamities, then at that point of time, it is the responsibility of the government and the state government to protect the human for safety and to safeguard all their needs. So, this is a right against exploitation. And the second point which comes under this right is the employment of children below the age of 14 years is banned to work in any factory or mine or any occupation which is dangerous for that person, or you can say which is hazardous. So, this is also the right against exploitation, because children should not do any work, they should concentrate on the studies. So, that is the reason the employment for children who are below age 14, they are not allowed to work at any place. The reason, as we all know, that this is the age for the development of the mind. That is the reason. Now, this point also comes under the right against exploitation. This point says the traffic in human beings. It means sale and purchase of human beings, just similar as goods and commodities, for any immoral purpose such as slavery or prostitution, because as a human it is not acceptable. So, that is the reason trafficking in human being, this also comes under this right. Now, this is the fourth fundamental right. This right says that we all have right to freedom of religion. As we all know that India is a multi-religious state. There are Hindus, there are Muslims, there are Sikhs, there are Christians and many other residing in our country also. And our constitution guarantees to every person's freedom of conscience and the right to practice and propagate any religion. So, the person can follow any religion as per their family tradition. And this right to freedom of religion is also not absolute. It can also be restricted on the grounds of public order, morality, and health. The state shall not impose any restrictions arbitrarily. So, that is the reason we have this right to freedom of religion. During some different conditions, the restrictions can be imposed for the safety of the public. Our Indian Constitution lays down that no religious education can be imparted in any educational institution which is wholly maintained out of the state funds. because the main aim of education is to educate the child. So, in those institutions, no child can be compelled to receive any religious instructions against his or her wishes. For example, if I am a Hindu person and if I am forced to follow some other religion, so that is not allowed. For the knowledge purpose, we definitely can read and follow the traditions, values, but not forcefully. The fifth fundamental right says that we all have cultural and educational rights. We all know that India is a vast country with diversity of culture, script, and languages. And we all people take pride in our own language and different cultures. And our own constitution provides the necessary guarantee to preserve, maintain, and promote their culture and language. The Constitution allows minorities to establish and maintains educational institutions of their own. It also provides that the state shall not discriminate against any other education institute. If there is any education institute where any student of other religion gets admitted, then if any poor, rich, or any person is admitted, then that person cannot be denied because of the reason of having a different background. It is not allowed. So, this right protects all human beings. Now, this is the sixth fundamental right. This is right to constitutional remedies. Part 3 of our Constitution provides for the legal remedies for the protection of fundamental rights. And citizens of India can move to any senior court or higher court like Supreme Court or High Court for the enforcement of these rights. It is possible, and the court can issue and also the court can order writs to them. Now, this is a new term, habeas corpus. This word is a Latin word. Let us now understand the meaning of this word. it explains that it is an order by the court to the state to produce the person physically before it justify the confinement or release of the person, and the person needs to be produced before the judge within the 24 hours of time. For example, if a person is caught at 2 p.m., then before the 24-hour gets over, the person needs to be produced before the judge along with all the details, and the judge will take the decision to continue to be in the jail or to release the person. So this law is also for the protection. Now this is another word. It is mandamus. This word again comes from the Latin language. This also explains that it is a command, or you can say it is an order from the superior court to a subordinate court, or you can say a tribunal or public authority, to perform its duty in case it is not doing it. Let us understand it by 4-layer court system. There is the Supreme Court, High Court, State Court or Zilla Court. So these levels we need to understand, and the higher level court can give order to the lower level court in case of emergency or in case of need. If a person or the court is not able to do the work on time or according to the law, then the senior level court can give order to the lower level court. And this word is the third new word. This word is prohibition. Prohibition, as we have already covered, it also explains that it means to forbid. To forbid means to deny. It is also an order issued by the court to forbid a subordinate court or a tribunal from proceedings with a case which is beyond its jurisdiction. So the court can give order to the other department people to continue the case whenever one department is not able to handle the case appropriately, or that case does not come under the jurisdiction of that person. Now this word is quo warranto. This is also a writ which is issued to restrain a person from acting in a public office to which she or he is not entitled. So this is also the order which is given by the court, so that person should not do any act which is against the law, and the person has to accept that order. And this fourth new word is certiorari. The term certiorari means to be informed of what is going on. It is an order to a lower court from a superior court to transfer the matter to it or to any other court for further deciding the matter, so that the lower court would keep the higher court informed about all the updates which are being done in any case. As we all know that Supreme Court is the topmost senior court. So, Supreme Court can give order to the lower court for having all the information and the update. And this is the most important person we should be aware of when we talk about the Constitution. His name is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and he is rightly called as, or we can say known as, he has written all the acts and the articles, and he is rightly called as the writs, as the soul of the Part 3 of the Constitution. Let us have a break here.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम
अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो,
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से
और जागे
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने
Till now we have covered the difficult words, we have also understood the lesson. So now we will do some exercise. Here we will do some fill in the blanks in the exercise. There are two different ways of having exercise. There will be fill in the blanks and MCQ also. You have to think and then answer. I will also give you the answer, so you have to try yourself. Let us begin. This is the first question. This question says, the employment of children in factories below the age of dash dash is prohibited by law. Now you have to think which age. Is it age 14? Is it age 16? Or is it age 18? You have to think and then tell what is the right age that they are not allowed to enter in the factories. So you can see the answer. The right age is below the age of 14. The employment of children in factories below the age of 14 is prohibited. Now let us see the next question. This is question number 2. It says that religion is the concern of the dash in a secular state. You have to think the right answer. Out of the three options, the first option is individual, the second option is society, the third option is state. You have to choose the right answer. The answer is individual. Religion is the concern of the individual in a secular state. There are more questions. Let us have a look at them. This is question number 3. It says, no dash education can be imparted in any educational institution wholly maintained out of state funds. The first option says moral. The second option says religious. The third option says none of the two. So you have to answer by thinking which is the right answer. You can see the right answer is the second choice, which is religious. So no religious education can be imparted in any education institution wholly maintained out of state funds. because education is our main focus. Let us have a look at more questions. Now this is question number 4. Religious or linguistic dash can establish their own educational institutions. Now the choices are 2. The first choice is minorities and the second choice is majority. You have to choose the right option. So the right option is first option, which is minorities. The religious or linguistic minority can establish their own educational institution. This is the 5th question. In India, writs are issued by dash courts. The first option is lower court, the second option is subordinate, and the third option is high court. You have to choose the right answer. So the right answer is high court. In India, writs are issued by high courts. Now this is another form of question which comes under exercise. These are MCQ, multiple choice questions. First question. The number of freedoms guaranteed under the right to freedom is, you have to choose the right option. A option says 5, B option says 6, C option says 7, D option says 8. You have to choose the right answer, which is correct. As you can see, the right answer is B, which is 6. As we all have understood and covered the 6 basic fundamental rights. So that is why the answer is 6. Question number 2. Any person arrested by the police shall have to be produced before the nearest magistrate within a time period of how much hours? A option says 12 hours, the B option says 24 hours, C option says 36 hours, D option says 48 hours. So you have to choose the right answer. The right answer is 24 hours. As earlier also I had explained that in case if a person is caught by the police, then that person has to be produced before the judge within 24 hours. Question number 3. A person arrested under preventive detention This is preventive detention. It means if a person does not know or is under the age of 18, is below 18, then that person needs to be given proper adequate counseling so that the person understand what is right, what is wrong, and how a person should see the future and should take the right decision. So all these points comes under preventive detention. So during this time, that person can be kept in jail without trial for a maximum period of how much time? The A option says 3 months, B option says 6 months, C option says 12 months, and D option says 18 months. So you have to choose the right option out of these four options. The right option is, the maximum time period is 3 months, because during this time the person who is arrested would be kept under preventive detention. He will be kept in jail without trial, so that corrective measures can be taken and the person can be counseled for the better future, and the person should be aware that he has done some mistake and he needs to be corrected. Thank you. Namaskar.